Hello everyone, my name is Kan Lee. We are Group 219 from Youth Culture Corps. Youth Culture Corps originally introduces Korean heritages such as Gyeongbokgung Palace, Namsan-Hanok Village, Deoksugung Palace, Changdeokgung Palace. But because of the seriousness of COVID-19, we are going to tell you about Korean culture online. Today, we are going to talk about Korean traditional clothes and accessories. If there is Chipao in China, kimono in Japan, Aodai in Vietnam, there is hanbok in Korea. Hanbok is a traditional Korean clothes that combines straight lines and smooth curves. Even now, Koreans wear hanbok, traditional clothes, on holidays such as New Year's Day and Chuseok. Also, Koreans wear hanbok on special days such as weddings and first birthday parties. If you go to popular traditional places such as Gyeongbokgung Palace or Deoksugung Palace, you can see many people wearing hanbok and taking pictures. You can also see modern design hanbok in the world-famous K-pop music videos such as BTS and Blackpink. So let's learn more about Korean traditional clothes, hanbok, and accessories.
Hanbok refers to the traditional clothing of the Korean people. Historically, the Korean people wore their own clothes, and kings and aristocrats wore various costumes to create trends and dress difficultly depending on the formality. The colored cloth was used in different shapes according to the publication of clothing imposed by king of each area. But the majority of Koreans enjoyed wearing white clothes. And the basic structure of hanbok is the skirt, jogori, and pants. Remain or unchanged for a long time. Hanbok has several characteristics that appear as a traditional dress. Basically, it's not a tight fit because it is putting emphasis on activity. So also, if you look at the fabric itself, it is straight. But if you wear it on your body, it also shows aesthetic characteristics that helps the curve revive. Partly because it has no pockets, finally, unlike clothes or neighboring countries such as kimono or the hanfu, hanbok is divided into form because the jacket and skirt, or the upper or lower, are separated. Modern hanboks are similar to those worn during the Joseon dynasty and were often worn during holidays and formal occasions. The improved hanbok emphasizes the convenience of living, and its appearance has undergone many changes during the 20th century. Hanbok is not as last as ready-made clothes because it is also a garment, but these attempts are still being attempted by many hanbok designers, combining clothes, material, or features. According to the trend on the times and public domain, generally clothes are divided according to their use and use, including underwear, pants and skirts, and top pointing to shirts and shirts. Hanbok also has wide range of types, ranging from the basic or wearing shirt clothes to the scrolls worn at the top, and deal with hanbok, which make up the most basic of this.
From now on, I'd like to introduce you guys about the hair ornaments for women which were used during the Joseon dynasty. As you can see at the bottom of the picture, this is called binyo. Binyo is also called as ge, che, cham, and it was widely used in later Joseon dynasty. Not only it has the lure of fixating hair, but also the decorative meaning of the binyo is great. The body of binyo is divided into two parts. One part is jamdu, which is decorated convexly, and the other part is the body part. Actually, the decoration of the jamdu part determines the appearance of the binyo. The head part is the only place where you can shape and decorate while serving to prevent the binyo from escaping from the owner. The materials of the binyo were various, including gold, silver, wood, white bronze, coral, and jade. And we can estimate the status of the owner of the binyo by watching the binyo on the woman's head. The loyal ladies carved dragons and phoenixes, and ordinary women carved trees and flowers, such as bamboo and palm blossoms, on their binyo. Secondly, 뒷꽂이 is the general term that stands for hair decorations except binyo. There are many kinds of ornaments decorated with flowers, butterflies, corals, and pearls. Also, there are more practical ones like 귀이개 or 비치개. In this picture, you can see 떨잠 and 첩지. I want to explain 떨잠 first. It is also called 떨철 반자 as it expresses a pair of mandarin ducks facing each other and the flying shape of butterfly with a star in the middle. 떨잠 was used by women of the upper class including the queen, with ornaments attached to the decoration part, and the sharp parts were pointed so that they could be inserted into the head. And then 첩지. 첩지 is a piece of decoration placed on top of a woman's head during a ceremony, and a piece of cloth is placed in the middle of a 3 cm wide frame, placed on a scallop, and place the legs behind her left and right ears to fix it on the head. It is said that it was used after the ban on fake hair. A 첩지 with a dragon was used by the queen, so we can predict the status of a wearer by watching it.
Hello everyone, my name is Kim Do-yu. Today I am going to talk about Korean traditional clothes and accessories. Let's start now. 놀이개 is a jewelry worn around the waist of a Korean traditional jacket, togori, or skirt, and uses colorful colors and precious artifacts to add a colorful and delicate beauty to the monotonous Korean costume. It was a jewelry for women during the Joseon dynasty, and instead of the necklaces and earrings that were commonly used in the exhibition, it is considered to be the most diverse jewelry. It is a widely used ornament not only in the royal courts, but also in the upper classes and the common people. In the Joseon dynasty, most of the clothes were hung on rings. It was hung during the royal ceremonies of the nation or during the family events, and simple things were added in everyday life. The aristocrats handed down 놀이개, which were handed down from family to generation and passed on the family tradition. This is ring. A pair is often called a ring, and set of twin rings is called 가락지. 가락지 originally started with a new object rather than a decorative one. Shincheol was originally a new mark for identification, but it was written as a pledge of faith in the affection of men and women and the invariant of integrity in future generations. Use gold, silver, copper, or jade pumpkin for the materials. Depending on the material, the exterior is either a wooden tablet or a pattern is made to represent various shapes as ornaments. The pattern is mainly bats or flower patterns, which symbolize good luck. The ring is supposed to be worn by anyone, regardless of whether they are married or not. But 가락지 is supposed to be worn by married women. During the Joseon dynasty, it was worn according to the season, according to the type. This is called 장도. It is also known as bisu or paddle because it is worn with a 놀이개 inside a belt or garment. And what you have in your pocket is called 낭도. Women in our country carried this as a symbol of moral virtue to protect their bodies when they were in danger and to take their lives to protect their incision. The men kicked a long sword with the belts, along with pockets and cigarette wrap. The strings of the intestines were made of cord-like string or silk. For men, 장도 is worn with the ring of a bow tie or a belt, and for women it is worn by a belt in a skirt or by a yolage. Thank you for listening.
This is 귀주머니. Hanbok has no pockets, so people use their own pouches. 귀주머니 were ear-shaped pouches that were used by both men and women. Blue, dark, purple, and brown were popular colors among men, with crimson and blue for women. The string, laced through the neck and tied in decorative knots in front, was made by spinning multiple strands of thread with a color chosen to complement the pouch. Its fabric, color, and the use of golden thread character written on it represents the owner's dignity, occupation, and even the social status. Now let's move on. This is poson. Posons are Korean socks that are worn barefoot when wearing hanbok. It is made out of cotton or cotton clothes. Children's socks, tareposon, were made from padded cotton, embroidered with colorful thread, and attached with strings that were wrapped around the ankle. Posons complemented the graceful curved lines inherent in traditional Korean clothing and highlighted the elegant figures of the women who wore them. Shall we move on then? These shoes are called hwahae, but Koreans also refer to them as flower shoes because of their likeness to flower petals. Hwahae shoes were worn by the groom and bride during royal wedding and for other occasions such as days of national mourning. There were many types of hwahae worn by different types of people according to their age, social class, and even gender. By just taking a glance at the traditional Korean shoes worn by people of Joseon era, you were able to tell the age, social class, and gender of the people who wore them. Hwahae shoes are special icons among Koreans who really love beautiful handcrafts.
Hello everyone, my name is Kim Yu-chan. Today I want to tell you about the three head-born women in the Joseon dynasty, which are called Hwagwan, Jokduri, and Ayam. First, let's talk about Jokduri. Jokduri was the official head of woman which was used from the late Goryeo dynasty to the Joseon dynasty, which was made of black silk and was usually worn during ceremonies. This originates from the Goryeo dynasty, when the size and height of heads were higher than the Joseon dynasty, and the size decreased during the Joseon dynasty. Dressing was also popular in Jokduri, which was banned and the basic Jokduri was recommended, but the opposition was so severe that it failed. During King Jongjo's regime, some suggest different decoration depending on the husband's status, and it was said that the wearing of the jokduri was activated, and the wearing of the jokduri in the royal court were settled. Second, let's talk about ayam. Ayam is the head to prevent cold in winter, and it covers the forehead with its ear out. It is said that men wore it in the early Joseon period, but only women wore it in the late Joseon period. If you look at the structure of the head, it does not cover the top of the head, and there are two long dangles hanging behind the head. It is also said that the top of the head is made of black or purple silk, while the bottom is made of black and brown silk. Lastly, let's talk about hwagwan. Hwagwan was a hat that was usually worn during the Joseon dynasty and the Korean Empire, and was first originated during the unified Seolla period. When the unified Seolla kingdom in Goryeo dynasty, it became common from the Joseon dynasty. Basically, it was said that jokduri was mainly used, and the hwagwan was used when they decorate themselves beautiful. During the Joseon dynasty, it was considered to be a decorative item on top or other hats because it was very small in size, so they decorated it so beautiful. For example, a fine-colored bead was used to make a butterfly shape on the hat, or gold and silver treasures were used to decorate the hat too.
We talked about Korean traditional clothes, hanbok, and accessories. How was it? Isn't it so beautiful? If you come to Korea for a trip, it is highly recommended to borrow hanbok and take pictures at Gyeongbokgung Palace. It will be an unforgettable memory. Then what is the traditional clothes of your country? If you have any questions during listening, leave comments or mails. Thank you for watching until the end, and I hope you stay healthy during this time.